Good evening, one and all. Welcome to meeting 153, themed Behind the Curtains. I will be your Sergeant at Arms for today. And before we proceed to the meeting, I have 3 golden rules to share with you. First one is please refrain from talking about topics such as religion, sex, and politics. And if you do so, try to talk in such a way that it doesn't offend anybody. Second is please mute your mobile phones while talking because it might distract another speaker or yourself. And third is mute yourself at all times when you're not speaking because it might distract or disturb the speaker who's speaking. And one fourth rule that I'd like to add is please turn your videos on. We are on a virtual platform and we are trying to speak in front of people. So it would be better if we can look at the faces and the reactions. That's basically it from my side. The theme is Behind the Curtains. Honestly, there's not much that comes to my mind when I think about the theme. I'm looking forward to see what Ram has in store for us. Well, over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Gopika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ganesh. Now, when I saw this theme, I didn't understand what to do. What was it all about? It's a lot of mystery, right? But before all that, let me open this meeting and welcome each and every Toastmaster and guest to the meeting themed Behind the Curtains by Toastmaster Ram. We have a guest with us. Banerjee, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from? Banerjee, can you hear me? Okay, let's just assume that he's having a bit of network issues going on. And with that being said, we don't have any other guest in the meeting. Now, like I said, whenever I turn on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, we get a lot of suggestions on whatever we searched about, be it sweets, be it Christmas gifts, New Year gifts, and a lot of other things that whatever we search in Amazon, Flipkart, or even Google comes up as long as you can buy it, right? You get all those options, and it also happens just when you are broke and you have no money, and then that suggestion comes and saying that there's a sale going on and Adidas is having 50% off or Nike is having 70% off, but you're still broke. You can't do anything about it. So with that being said, I want to hand over the stage to our beloved TMOD, Toastmaster Ram, and see what he's going to talk about in today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Ram.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopika. So, hello, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. How are you all doing? It'd be great if you guys can unmute and talk.
Yes, sir, we're doing good.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. So, the theme for today's meeting is Behind the Curtains, which was a catchier name than the word privacy, as suggested by my beloved mentor, Harsha. So, as we all know, privacy is something which we all seek, either in real life or online. It's very precious to us, right? So, during the past 2 years, we have spent a great portion of our time staying at our houses with our families, which we enjoyed or not, that's a different story. So, which made us seek privacy from each other for a time. So, for example, I stayed in my room all day and studied. So, at least according to my parents, that's what I did. But you all know that's not the only thing which I did there. So, that's also a different topic. So, this kind of behavior actually started turning me into an introvert. But there was this man named Ralph C. Smedley who started this organization called Toastmasters in the year 1924, which now has over 300,000 members in 15,000 plus clubs situated in 149 countries, which helps people in public speaking related skills and many more. So thanks to this man who has changed many people's lives through Toastmasters. So talking about Toastmasters, let's move right ahead. So the meeting will consist of 3 parts: prepared speeches, table topic session, and evaluation. So now let me go ahead and introduce the general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Vinutana. Toastmaster Vinutana says, coffee, travel, and teddy are something which completes. No matter how worse, the present is a short novel paragraph before a day that would make my day. Over to you, Toastmaster Vintana.
Thank you so much, Ram. Hello, fellow Tapsters and guests. This is Vinodna with the complete honors of being today's General Evaluator. And as the theme goes behind the curtains, what would be the scene behind the curtains? What will be actually happening behind each and every event or each and very aspect? Similarly, in every meeting, there'll be a lot of work going on back end of the screen. And during the meeting, it is me and my team who will be working on the all-round development of our meetings. In the same way, let me introduce myself. This is Vinodna, being the general evaluator. And coming to my role, I'll be completely evaluating this meeting, starting from the minute where we have begun the meeting to the very end, from TMOD to speakers to evaluators to my very own tag team. Speaking about the tag, it is the team who will be evaluating with respect to time, accounting, which will be measuring the efficiency of the speakers, and coming to the grammarian who will be checking the fluency and also the efficiency of the language which we are using during the speeches. So let me bring forward my tag team and their introduction to the roles. For this, firstly, I would like to call upon Toastmaster, just to give me a second, Toastmaster Nikhil. Toastmaster Nikhil, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Vinodna. So good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be the timer for today's meeting. So basically my role is to keep track of time in today's meeting. So for the allocated time, the allocated time for prepared speeches is about 5 to 7 minutes, where I'll be showing my green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. And the allocated time for evaluations is about 2 to 3 minutes, where I'll be showing my green card at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and the red card at 3 minutes. And the allocated time for table topics is about 1 to 2 minutes, where I'll be showing my green card at 1 minute, the yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. And every segment is given a 30 seconds buffer time. And I'll be presenting my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. And I'm so sorry that I forgot to give you the introduction of Nikhil. And Nikhil is a person who says that he's a kind of person who binges anime, and he's a very book foodie and always try to stay in bed, the curtains, and never let the spotlight or crowds. So this is from Nikhil being the taking up the role of timer. And next, let me introduce you our counter for today's meeting. Our counter for today's meeting is a very big fan of all Korean dramas, and she also says that no matter how the day goes, but at the end of the day, food and good music are the best healers for her. Shreyasvi, over to you.
Thank you, Vinodna. Good evening, everyone. I'm today's our counter, as Vinodna said. But why do we need an R counter in a Toastmasters meeting? When we are giving a speech, we take care of our script, grammar in it, and time also. But along with these things, we also need to take care of these pause fillers. So as an R counter, my role is to note all these pause fillers. And what are these pause fillers? They can be a filler sounds like and also some repetitive words like and, like, what, well, etc. So I'll be noting all these pause fillers used by each and every role taker, and I'll be giving my report at the end. And that's it. Over to Vinod.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreyasvi. And here comes the last but not least, the grammarian for the day. Grammarian for the day is Toastmaster Ganesh. And Toastmaster Ganesh says that he is an ambivert, and the reason for that is anime. Staying closed up in his room and binging anime is his daily routine. So here we go for Ganesh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinodna. I will be the grammarian for today, and my job is to correct everyone speaking in this meeting. I look at the good phrases or good idioms that you use, good quotes you use, or the incorrect grammar you use. For example, using past tense instead of the present tense instead of the past tense, and mismatching it. That's my job for today. And I have another job given to me, which is giving the idiom of the day and the word of the day. The word of the day is defer, D-E-F-E-R. It means to put off or postpone something. I'll put it in the chat box. And second, the idiom of the day is put all your eggs in one basket. An example of that is don't eggs in one basket while investing in stocks. It means to putting all the effort into one thing. And an example for differ is they deferred the decision until February. I'll put down both in the chat box. You can refer to it. And that's it from my side. Over to Toastmaster Vinod.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ganesh. And this is it from my team and me. Over to TM Modi, Ram.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mithuna. So now let's start our first part of the meeting, speech, prepared speeches. So let me call upon the first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. She says she's a person who can roast with the most unexpected comebacks. Over to you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ram. And I didn't give the intro from myself. I'm not boasting. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and a special good evening to Toastmaster Ratan. Toastmaster Ratan is giving his L1P3 speech on the path presentation mastery, and the purpose of the project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. All the best, Toastmaster Ratan. Over to Toastmaster Ram.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. So let me call upon the first speaker, Toastmaster Ratan. He says he's a kind of an ambivert person who's a great foodie who wishes to travel the world and taste different cuisines. So title for Toastmaster Ratan was, Our Problems Are Very Negligible. Toastmaster Ratan, our problems are very negligible. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ram. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'll like you to keep you in some situations. I hope you stay in this situation for maximum 2 or 3 minutes. For the first situation, we all love to surf on the internet, whether it may be Instagram, Facebook, or anything. But do you know there's a country which bans you from using the internet or surfing from the internet? They caught you doing that, you'll be put in the jail for almost 20 years. Just think of another situation where you're not allowed to laugh for 10 continuous days. Or another situation where the people in your country are starved and running to save their lives. You know, this is also called as the most depressing country in the world. Do you know what country it is? Any guesses?
South Korea?
It's North Korea, that is correct. So let us keep aside of North Korea. We all know about North Korea a lot. So now, as I told you the situations, now just imagine in a situation where you sit inside your house and praying God for every second that the missile which is going to come from the other end which does not fall on your house. Or in a situation where you almost see your own family members or your friends dying or being murdered in front of you. Or in a situation where you're a Syrian refugee going in a boat migrating from Syria to another place, dying in the middle of the sea. So just think about that situations. This is what happens daily in Syria. So according to the United Nations analysis of the death which happened in Syria, documented death which has happened in Syria from 2011 war till 2017 was 350,000 innocents were killed in the bomb attacks. These were the deaths which are being documented. Think about the deaths which are not documented, or the people died, the names of the people which died which are not documented, which are unimaginable. Now, again, let me put you in a very different situation. Now, you are in a situation where your country is fully rounded by a very bad guys, and there's an only option for you is to die suffering in their hands or leave the country. This was a situation in Afghanistan which happened very early. People were suffered that much. They were very suffered from the Taliban rule. They were throwing the kids to the US Navy, US people, so that their kids would at least live a better life in the foreign land. Many people died to leave the country or to fade away from the Afghanistan. So if I say like this, there are 100 and many stories in the many situations which I can keep. My entire this thing would not be sufficient for you. In these countries, people even fight for the basic necessities. They kill each other for the basic necessities like food and water. In the places like Afghanistan and Syria, people will starve for almost many days, and people in these countries don't even have a basic freedom of expression or the freedom of getting educational rights. In the countries like Afghanistan and Syria, if the girl child is getting educated, she's being killed. If she likes to dress the way she wants, she's killed in a fashionable way. Or if you try to get against the ruler, you are being killed. So if I think about these situations, I always like to thank God that He has put me in a better situation and in a better world. So when I see the situation what I put now, we can't even last for almost 10 seconds, not even live for 2 to 3 minutes. We can't even stay there for 10 seconds. So when I come to the present world of our India, people are dying for a very, they're getting suicide for a very, very small matters. Like parents has not given me a mobile, suicide. Or the person who has not loved you he has rejected your proposal, die, suicide. If you're not getting a good CGPA, suicide. Then the problems we have faced today or what we are facing is very, very negligible to the problems they face, the people that face. We have to always be gratitude to the thing we got it. So what I always try to say is that try stop overthinking about the problems we have, or try to solve them in a more efficient way. Or whenever you overthink, you try to ruin the whole thing. So, and also try to help the people who are in need, because last year many COVID people have been died. You can help them in such a way, because at the end of the day, if you help the people, you may get that thing, so that you are okay with it. Your people are very happy around you. So I want to end up with a very good quote which I have read on the internet. You're going to get through the tougher situations in life, that is for sure. Nothing happens to you, all the things happens for you. All the things which happens in life will always teach you some lesson. So always try to think positive in negative events. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ratan. I really can't imagine how blessed we are to stay in a country like India, which is really democratic. So now, let me call the speech evaluator to Toastmaster Harsha. He says he's a simple guy who loves to smile and make people smile. Over to you, Toastmaster Harsha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram. Well, that's what happens when your mentee is the Toastmaster of the day. You can give nice introductions about yourself. Thank you so much. Now let's go ahead to the speech objectives of Toastmaster Madhumita. Well, she's attempting level 1 project 2, and the purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a. Wait, I just got that wrong. I just got the wrong PDF. Just give me a moment. I'll just go ahead with the generic introduction. The purpose of this speech is for the member to apply the feedback that was given in the first speech and apply it to this particular speech and deliver it in a clock. And I'll be evaluating her on the basis of the previous evaluation that she's got, and few points from my side as well. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram. All the very best, Toastmaster Madhumita. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harsha. So we have speaker 2, Toastmaster Madhumita. Madhumita sometimes wonder if she could take Instagram as a partner, considering they're the only ones who listen to her wish list. So the title for Madhumita, Toastmaster Madhumita, was Madhumita, Subtle Art of Not Being a Toastmaster, Subtle Art of Not Being a Toastmaster, Madhumita. Over to Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram. A very good evening to everyone present here. Okay, so let me start off with a question to everyone here. How many of you here have been a Toastmaster between 2 years to 1 year? Okay, how many of you here have been a Toastmaster for less than a year? Okay, how many less than 6 months? Do we have anyone like that? Yeah. Okay, less than a year, less than 6 months. Okay. Fine. Anyways, I have been a Toastmaster for the last 3.5 years, and being a Toastmaster has seeped into many parts of my life. In fact, it has been a part of me, or rather, differentiating between Toastmaster Madhumita and Madhumita has been increasingly difficult these days. You know what? I'll tell that with a couple of examples today. The first thing happened when I was in fourth year. When I was in fourth year, that was a couple of days after I got released. And after the formal official letter, all those things, then my dad called me and then he made me sit down. And then he was advising me on how life would be, how this would be, how I will get into the real world and how I should be extremely productive and responsible. And with that, now I'm earning and I have to be more careful. I should have financial education, blah, 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 and all those things. This went on for 2 hours. So after that was done, my dad asked me, did you even listen to what I said, or did you even understand something that I have been speaking for the last 2.5 hours? Because I see that you were not giving any reaction other than the periodical nod for every 30 seconds. So I just want to know if you have been listening. Like, what? Yeah, absolutely. I have been totally listening to you. Whatever you said completely made sense. And I have taken back a lot of things. Though there are a few things that I would want to suggest. Like, for example, when you start off with a new point, you always start off by saying, see, Mita, and then you go about with the point. So whenever you start off like this, I see that it is getting repetitive. And I can figure out that this is a pattern that is going on in you. Also, the second thing being, since you have been speaking for a long time, I see that you have been giving a lot of points, a lot of examples, a lot of quotes from books. On one side, it is good, but on the other side, I feel that it is just getting over my head and I'm just zoning out. Are you seriously evaluating my life advice, the experience that I had for the last 50 years? Are you seriously evaluating everything that I've gone through in my corporate life for the last 25 years and I've tried to condense it and give it to you? Is that what you're doing? Well, no, I was listening to you. All I was doing was just trying to put out a mental map for how it is going to be in my life and how I could do it. Although, again, as I said, there are a few things that you could improve. But anyways, I felt that I have to take this all into consideration and do it. And you're doing it again. Doing what again? You are evaluating me again? I am not evaluating you again. Oh, yes, you are. You know what? Just leave. I think you can go back to your room and just sit behind and do whatever you would want to do. That was one incident. I'm not even kidding. That happened. But I can give him the benefit of doubt saying that he's not a Toastmaster and then he doesn't know things about the Toastmasters culture and how we are going about with all these things. So there was this another incident, and this was with a Toastmaster, which means that he should have known that this is with respect to Toastmasters, right? So this was back in, I don't even remember when this was. So I had to talk to one person about one specific thing. I texted that person saying that, hey, and then he replied, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Is 9 o'clock okay with you? He's like, yeah, fine. 9 o'clock is okay with me. 9 o'clock happens. I call him. Like, hey, how are you? Like, hi, I'm good. How are you? So good. Okay, listen, I just wanted to talk to you about something. Yeah? But I'm not very sure if I can put this out there. I am in a very perplexed position now, and I'm not really sure if I can put this out there. And we have a good thing going on. We have been very good friends. I really don't want to ruin that, but at the same time, this has been nagging me and it has been eating me from inside out. I really want to get this out there. Hey, yeah, you can tell me whatever you want. You know you can trust me. Like, yeah, I know that is the thing. I trust you so much. I don't want to ruin this. And I really do not want to leave the situation wrong. And I see that you're also interested and you also seem to be responsive to these. So I'm not sure if I can just, put this out there and ask and ruin all these things. No, not at all. I might be interested. You can definitely ask what you want to ask me. Well, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to ask you right now and I'll deal with the embarrassment later. I want to know if you would want to be a club coach for one of the clubs in my area. A what? A club coach in one of the clubs in my area. So, okay, let me get this straight. You want me to become a club coach? Yes. But I don't understand a lot of points. The first point being, how does this affect the friendship that we have? But I'm an area director, you are a club coach. Yet there might be situations where I might have to take a few decisions, which might or might not be fruitful. Right, okay, that makes sense. What about the point where you said I am interested and it can be reciprocated? Well, you attended a lot of club meetings, and I feel that you have been doing well as a person, and the members are receptive to what you're doing. And I really feel that that will happen. I think I totally read the situation wrong, but yeah, club coach. I will think about it and then I'll get back to you. It took me a solid hour to understand that whatever I said had been conveyed in a completely different sense back then. Don't worry, he's not a club coach to any club in my area right now. Anyways, the point being a Toastmaster has infiltrated my life in many spheres, though it has been fruitful and amazing in almost 99% of my life. There are a few places like this that I feel that I should learn the subtle art of not being a Toastmaster. That was my time. Over to you, Theo.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhumita. You really had us in the first part of the texting conversation. So we don't have any more speakers. So now let's conclude our prepared speeches section. So now let's talk about a theme a little bit before we move on. So in today's world, privacy has literally become non-existent in this online world. We rely on Google for almost everything. So I would say Google knows us much better than we do ourselves. So we use so much digital footprint when we are online. So there was this incident 2 weeks ago. I started watching a couple of B99 episodes again, and to my surprise, my Insta feed, which was filled with friends and suits memes, started showing B99 memes, which really shocked me, obviously. So I believe most of you would have had the same kind of experience where you search something in the shopping website, and something starts showing up when you just scroll through your social media. So these kind of impromptu ads keep happening, right? So talking about impromptu ads, let's move ahead with the next part of the session, which is an impromptu session, which is called a table topic session, which will be handled by a table topics master, Toastmaster Niharika. Toastmaster Niharika she's a fitness freak and loves traveling and chilling with friends. Over to you, Toastmaster Niharika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ram, for that introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I will be the table topic master for today's session. I'll be giving you a topic and you are supposed to speak 1 to 2 minutes on that particular topic. I would like to request everyone to volunteer. I request Vinutna to share her screen. Toastmaster Vinutna.
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Just give me a minute.
Who would like to volunteer first? Could you raise your hand?
All right, this is Harsha. I'll go first.
Okay, Harsha. The question for you is, describe about your private place in your home or college.
Once lockdown started in March 2020, I used to stay in my hometown, Karnool. It was a big house. There were a lot. There were not so many people in the house. There were a maximum of 6 people. Me, my brother, dad, mom, grandpa, grandma. Cool. Well, even though there were only 6 people and it was a big house, there was no privacy because it was built way back in 1980s. And the room structure there, it's just straight. And you really can't get a room and you really don't have so much of private space. After almost being there for 4 or 5 months, I just got back to Hyderabad. After getting to Hyderabad, I never actually thought of privacy or any such things like I just want my own room or something like that. I never actually didn't have any own room of mine in my house. So I was never expecting that. After coming back to Hyderabad, one thing that I realized is there's a lot of noise going around me. Whenever I get on a call with my friends, they can hear my mom talking in the kitchen. They can hear my brother shouting with his friends. They can hear my dad cursing me. I just realized one thing. I need privacy. So, as you're looking at me right now, I got into a beautiful space called my own room. Well, if you want to see, this is my room. Oh, I'm not going to turn my camera. You're just not going to sleep tonight if you look at my room because it's so neat. You can't beat the cleanness. Well, in August 2020, I got my own private place, and as I already said, it won't look that neat, and I enjoyed that way, I guess. Thank you so much for the Table Talks Master, Toastmaster, and Harika.
That was a wonderful take, Toastmaster Harsha. No matter how our private space could be, because it's our place, it's up to us. Next, who would like to volunteer?
I'd like to volunteer. Vaishnavi here.
Okay, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, the question for you is the person with whom you forget the word privacy. That is, you would like to share everything that happens in your life.
So when it comes to privacy, I'm a very shy person. For those who don't know, especially my roommates know how shy I am. I don't change in front of them. I used to be that way. But then came Akshita. And for 1 month, she was my roommate. This is where I lost all my sense of privacy, and I also share everything with her. Almost anything and every small detail in my life. I call her and I'm like, oh, this happened, that happened, and she does the same. It's like we are so close. There was a time she always sleeps on my bed. That is how privacy doesn't work with her. When it comes to me and her, privacy doesn't work. And sometimes I'm like, then I think about myself. What kind of a person I used to be, and what am I with her? Why am I so different with her? It's just that we have this weird bond between us, and we don't think about privacy, and we should be a certain way, or we. But the one person who I'm not a really private person is with Akshita. That's all.
Who would like to volunteer?
Can I?
I need one more person for the next question.
Govind, can I volunteer?
Yeah. I mean, I need 2 persons for the third. Oh, I have joined through my mobile, so I can't see. Okay. Okay, Ratan and Govind, are you ready to take the next question?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The question for you is, your younger one always excited to see your WhatsApp, but due to some private issues, you don't allow. The one and one will be the elder one, and you should enact the situation mentioned.
You want to take?
Yeah, you can go ahead with the older one. I don't have.
You'll go younger. Okay, fine. Okay.
Bro, I just want your phone to use something. Can you give me a phone?
You're younger, right?
Yeah.
I should ask you. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You got the younger.
Yeah. Ratan, bro, can you give me a phone, please? I just want to make a quick call and I'll give you a phone back.
Why do you want my phone?
I just want to make a quick call. That's what I said.
Like, you won't check my WhatsApp, right?
For yes, sure. Sir. I won't.
I don't believe you.
That's not my type. I'll just appreciate your privacy, and I won't see your images and all that stuff.
I'm looking at you. I'm watching you from the from the day you're born. I know you're not such a person. You're a thief. You're going to check all the messages. You're going to say to mama, and she's going to kill me. I won't do it. First of all, my girlfriend will message me. I won't do it. I won't do it.
You know, one thing, if you want to know whether your mom, our mama saw your messages, she saw yesterday night by using your fingerprint while you're sleeping. Okay, so I don't need her to say your private messages. So there's a run out now.
I won't believe you.
You can just ask mother then if you don't believe.
Okay, what to do in life? She's going to bang me today night. I know, with belt or I don't know. You please help me now. Okay.
Not even mother, bro. Even father saw this. What your girlfriend just messaged the hey love, and your father saw that message.
Then I won't be even living with you from tomorrow. I won't even get today. I think food today. What to do?
Even he replied with yeah love.
Okay, that's all I think.
That's it.
That's it.
Toastmaster Ratan, you have already spilled the bean. You just revealed you have a girlfriend with your sibling.
I have many more privacy things than girlfriend. So I don't want to.
Oh my God. I think you are maintaining a couple of them.
No.
So sure about it. Okay, with that, let's move on to the next. Who would like to volunteer? I request to unmute yourself and ask because I am unable to see.
I can go. Gopika.
Yeah. Toastmaster Gopika, the question for you is, we all know we have status privacy in our WhatsApp. Assume that you are the developer. What features would you like to add on to keep your info private? Like instead of status privacy, what all privacy would you like to add on to that? Over to you, Toastmaster Gopika.
Toastmaster Niharika, you have put me on the spot because I am nowhere close to being a developer. Forget giving updates on what can be done for a status privacy. But one thing that I would add in WhatsApp would be how you can categorize people. For example, you have the option of just blocking, like some friends you don't want who are too nosy, or sometimes some family members who are just nosy. I'll give you the simplest example. When I was in college, when I was doing my undergraduate, and when I put a status, like if it's a birthday party or if it's just a birthday of any person we know, we might have clicked pictures during Onam or some celebration where you would have hands over a guy. Simple, right? The simple photo. You might be standing next to a guy, a very cute, maybe handsome guy, and this might be your only opportunity to actually flaunt that picture, because otherwise it will be just borderline creepy to randomly put a guy's picture and say, oh my God, so cute. So you put that picture up, and what happens is, like, in maybe 2 or 3 minutes or in 5 minutes, you'll start getting messages. Oh, Gopika, who is this guy standing next to you? He's so cute. Are you dating? Are you single? And what not? Now, this happens on a daily basis with all my family members. And because of this, I am unable to wish any person birthday, especially a guy. And especially if you're in my age, they have this concept of Gopika, are you getting married? There was this one status I put for my cousin brother, and I was standing next to him, and I put a status saying congratulations or something of that sort. And a lot of Toastmasters texted me saying, Gopika, are you getting married? And I paused and I went back to the status. I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, he's my brother. And I deleted that status. And I put a status again saying that, congratulations, big brother. So this happens on a daily basis. And I think that's something you need. Categorize every person in your list. Over to you, TTM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopika. And let's have the last question. Who would like to volunteer next?
Niharika, I can go. This is Harshita.
Okay, Toastmaster Harshita. The question for you is, teenage shows a lot of impact in our life, but these days, teenagers are trying to keep things as private as possible. How far do you think this is correct?
Okay. Whoever is in my age group or whoever is around my age group, I'm sure you all can relate to this, that when I was a teenager, maybe till my 12th standard, I didn't have my own phone. We all didn't have our own personal phones until we came to college, or maybe hostelers, you would have had your own personal phone. But when it comes to me, I didn't have any personal phone. So privacy was something which is very far term for me. Private, not just for me. At home, privacy is something like very bad, considered a very bad term, especially when it comes to kids. But whenever I see my cousins who are just so-called Gen Z kids or millennial kids, they have their own phones right from their fifth standard, fourth standard. Okay, yeah, fifth standard. Just let that be there, considering us not to be too old. And they have passwords to their phones. They don't tell the passwords to their parents. And whenever I see myself in that conversation, I think about my school days when I used to beg my parents to give their phone just to play one random game. So yeah, privacy to me as a teenager was nothing. It was not even a term. It was not in my dictionary. And even now when I'm 22, when I'm in my own room, I'm not allowed to close my door. My mom will think something is happening inside. When I just want to deflect noise or just to, whenever a meeting is happening, if I try to close the door, she'll peek in and she'll ask, "What are you doing? Why are you closing the door? You can open it." So yeah, this is the difference between privacy between our generation and the teenagers right now. That's it from my side. Thank you for the topic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. With this, I would like to end the table topic session. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niharika. Short race Toastmasters were really fun in TTM session. So yeah, so I would like to go for a quick 5-minute break. Is that okay? So yeah, so let's go for a 5-minute break starting now.
Ratan gave us too much information.
Recording. So yeah, welcome back, Toastmasters and guests. So I hope it was a really great break. So I hope all of you are hydrated and back. So now let's move to the evaluation part of the meeting. So I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Vinutana.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram. And before I give my evaluation and a tag team evaluation, I would like to call upon speech evaluators to respectively give the evaluations of the respective speakers. Firstly, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Vaishnavi for evaluating Toastmaster Ratan's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinitna. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and a special good evening to Toastmaster Ratan. First of all, which captured all of our attention about Ratan's speech is, he started with situations. So it made us think. We were living that situation through our imagination. That is one thing I really found very captivating about your speech. Your speech content also was something a little different. It was we were actually, it made people think. It was giving a very good perspective on it, and you took a sensitive topic, but you didn't offend anyone. That is one thing I found you did a very great job on that. Some improvements I would suggest is, since it was a research topic, I felt your speech could be a little more organized and well structured. This is something I found that a little lacking, and you can work on this in your future speeches. One more thing I've noticed is you're not maintaining a proper eye contact to the audience. This is something it is very important because this shows the confidence you have on this topic, and this is the confidence you need for delivering any speech. And your gestures seemed a little redundant here and there. Other than that, I felt your I loved the way the flow of the speech was, and the content of the speech is something very commendable and something which people will not take, and it also was inspiring to many people. And I also loved the fact that it ended with a quote, and your speech title belonged to the like it was a part of your speech. One challenge I would like to pose is, normally this is the second time I've noticed. First, you always seem to take a little sensitive topics while you're giving speeches. I would suggest for the next speech, go for a little light-hearted topic, because sometimes it's people have a bad day and they want to come to Toastmasters and just calm themselves down. And in that way, if you give a light-hearted topic to them, it will, like, if you're speaking about a light-hearted topic, it'll make their day. So I would suggest this is one challenge I would pose. That's all I have. Over to Toastmaster Vinod now.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Coming to Ratan, your speech, it was so great that you have started it with a question. And yeah, as Vaishnavi has already mentioned, that made enough contact with the connection with the audience. And the second thing is you have taken the very recent and very sensitive matters, and so that everyone also felt, even they were in the situation and they were also thinking about it, so that I could say that in audience interaction was so sound in your speech. Coming to the areas where you could work on a little is, first thing, you can make us much more involved by including little bit of drama. Like the way you have opened it or the way you have concluded it. However the inside the content goes, the opening and the closing should be a bang. So make sure that your conclusion and the way you open it could be much more better, so that you can entirely have the connection with the audience. And the second thing is your background. Because of your background, few of your ancestors were missing. It would have been still more better if you have given your speech by standing. Make sure that if there is any possibility, you could work it out from the very next time. And that's it from my side. It was, apart from that, that was completely a very great speech, Ratan. And coming to Toastmasters Vaishnavi's evaluations, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, you have very clearly mentioned all the positives and also the areas where the speaker can work on. It's still more better that you have given him a challenge to work upon. Good job, Vaishnavi. And now I would like to call upon speech evaluator to Harsha for evaluating Toastmaster Madhumita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhumita. Hi, Toastmaster Madhumita. I want to say something to you. I hope you'll take it the right way. Will you? I hope so. Well, coming to Toastmasters Madhumita's speech, I love the sarcasm more than anything in that speech. I love the way she portrayed all those situations and circumstances, and the point that she wanted to convey, she conveyed it the right way. Let's get right ahead into the evaluation. So firstly, I'll take the obvious things out. Those are the improvements from the previous speech. The major improvements that I saw from the previous evaluation was your pace was too fast. I didn't really find that we could connect with all those dialogues. And the second point from the previous evaluation was audience interaction. I could really see that audience interaction is just not about asking questions. It's about making them engaged. I think you've done it way better. So great job done with that, Toastmaster Madhumita. And one more is tone variation. I feel that even though you've used a normal tone in this speech at a lot of points, it was apt to the situation. In a humorous speech, I don't really find the point of going overboard and making a lot of drama, because when you're being subtle and a little sarcastic, that adds a lot more flavor into the humor. So I really loved that point, using the right tone at right points. Now coming to today's speech, the few things that I really loved was the first thing that I already mentioned is the casual tone that you gave out at a lot of points. It was really fitting into the situations. And when you were just saying how your dad spoke, blah, 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 we could really understand how concentrated you were while he was talking. So I was talking about these tones that you really portrayed well. Great job done with that. Now coming to the second point, this is something that a lot of humorous speaker does. And the one thing that almost everyone follows is taking the audience in a direction and taking them into another direction all of a sudden. You did that really well again in the speech. We all know what that situation is. I started off my evaluation with that. Now coming to the third point, this is something that I already mentioned and I want to stress on. The way you conveyed your point of the subtle art of not being a Toastmaster in few situations, you portrayed that and you showed that really well. And that showed your experience as a Toastmaster. Great job done with that, Toastmaster Madhumita. Now, I want to say a few things, but you'll take them the right way. Are you sure you'll take them the right way? I am sure that you'll take it the right way. Coming to these improvements that I have for you, well, as much as we loved the conversation you had with the other area director about being the club coach, it got stretched a little at some point. It was being a long joke. So you revealed that information to us after almost 1.5 minutes, where the audience, a few of them might get disengaged in between. So that's something you can work upon. Try to keep the jokes a little more shorter. And the second point of improvement that I have for you is, it's a humorous speech, so include more situations. It's fine. As much as you include situations, you can get more one-liners through those situations. So these are the 2 points of improvement, and one challenge that I have for you here is work on one-liners. So getting all these together, being the casual tone, taking audience in a different direction, and the way you conveyed your point for us was awesome. And try to not work on long jokes and try to include more situations. That's it from my side. Over to the general evaluator, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harsha. And coming to my evaluation on Toastmaster Madhumita, you have completely taken your speech to the very next level by your enactions. You have really enacted it in a very nice way, and even the voice modulation which you made was very evident. But if I'd like to give you a suggestion, but please make sure about your background, because of your background, the same thing happened with Ratan too. Because of your background, a few gestures were missed. So make sure that next time when you see, just take it out with the background. Apart from that, it was completely a very humorous and very great speech, and I'm so loved with your enactions. Coming to Toastmaster Harsha's evaluation, Harsha, you have clearly mentioned each and every point, and I have clearly mentioned the improvements, and also you have given the suggestion. I think that's a great job. So here is the evaluation of speech evaluations and speech evaluator evaluations. Moving ahead with the evaluations of tag team. Firstly, I would like to call upon grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Ganesh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinutna. Well, firstly, I'll start out with the Toastmaster of the day. I'll tell the good usages and I'll tell the not so good usages, which can be improved upon. First, the good usages, you had conclude, non-existent, beloved, and that's all the words that I noted down. And Speech Evaluator 1 had Toastmaster Vaishnavi used redundant, commendable, posed, light-hearted. Speaker 1, Ratan, used fashionable, efficient. Toastmaster Madhumita, Speaker 2, used seeped, nagging, infiltrated. And Speech Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Harsha, used engaged, tone, subtle, portrayed. And then the general evaluator used enacted and voice modulation. These are all the good vocabularies that I noted down. And kudos to everyone, because the vocabulary was on point and the quality was really good. Coming to the improvements, prompt you ads keep happening. Instead, we can say prompt you ads keep popping up. And especially a good evening to Toastmaster Ratan. We can say a good evening, especially to Toastmaster Ratan. And then my entire life, this thing is not sufficient. Well, instead of saying this thing, you can specify what you're saying. I'll tell it specifically. Toastmaster Ratan, you said my entire this thing is not sufficient for you. So you can replace this thing with something else. And they're getting suicide is something else you use. They're attempting to suicide is the correct usage. And Toastmaster Madhumita, speaker 2, you used like, for example, instead of you either use like or, for example, you don't use both in the same sentence. And he doesn't know things related to Toastmasters. Instead of things, we can say etiquette or rules. We can specify on that. And one thing that I noticed is you said screw it, which might be informal. So you can probably change the word instead of saying screw it. And Toastmaster Harsha, Speech Evaluator 2, said few things I really loved was the first thing. You continued to the first thing. Instead, give a gap. Tell the first thing I loved. And General Evaluator, there's one observation that I noticed a lot. You keep saying still more. You keep using still more better or still more something. So you can probably dial that down and improve upon that. Overall, the table topic speakers and the table topic master had good vocabulary and I couldn't notice any mistakes. And I didn't notice anyone using differ or put all the eggs in one basket, but that's okay. We can start using the word of the day, idiom of the day from the next meeting onwards. That's it from my side. Everyone did a good job. Over to Toastmaster Vinod. Thank you.
Great job, Toastmaster Ganesh, and thank you so much for that very detailed evaluation too. Coming to Toastmaster Ganesh, you have really when you were asked to give intro about your role, you have clearly said, you have explained about your role, and you have also said about you have also revealed the word of the day and idiom of the day. You have also happened to put it in the chat box. I think your job is great. So yeah, moving ahead, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shreyasvi, the accountant for the day.
Thank you, Vinatna. Just let me share my screen. Yes, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So good evening, everyone, once again. I'm back with my report. So to start with essay, Ganesh as an essay didn't have any pause fillers. And then Toastmaster Ram, who is TMOD, that is Toastmaster of the Day, have repeated many times the word called so and has one pause filler called soya. And Vinutna and Niharika didn't have any pause fillers till now. Prepared speeches session, Toastmaster Ratan used 7 hours and 3 hours and no pause fillers and no repetitive words. Toastmaster Madhumita had 4 hours. Moving on to the table topic session, Toastmaster Harsha doesn't have any pause fillers but had one repetitive word and Toastmaster Vaishnavi has one pause filler, so yeah. And Toastmaster Ratan and Govind conversation, Toastmaster Govind have only 4 hours. And Toastmaster, next, moving on to the speaker 4, Toastmaster Gopika has 1 hour and 1 pause filler, and Toastmaster Harshita doesn't have any pause fillers. And moving on to the evaluation session, Toastmaster Vaishnavi, the first speech evaluator, has 7 hours and 2 pause fillers, and because. Toastmaster Harsha doesn't have any pause fillers again and 1 repetitive word and just now Toastmaster Ganesh gave his grammarian report in which he used 4 hours and 1 repetitive word and in time word Toastmaster Nikhil in the introduction used so as a repetitive word. So I suggest people who have used these pause fillers, be it the filler sounds or the words, you can take a little bit pause in between, especially the people who had many pause fillers in between. Thank you. This is it. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that very detailed evaluation, Toastmaster Shreyasvi. And Toastmaster Shreyasvi, during your introduction, you have introduced well about your role regarding touch words and repetitive words, etc. But it would have been still more better if you have defined them, what they would look like and what are those words. That will actually give a better clarity to guests and also the newcomers to the club regarding regarding much about your role and also the accounting. So thank you so much, Shreyasvi. And now I would like to call upon timer for the day, Toastmaster Nikhil.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'll just share my screen. Give me a second. Yes. So today was a meeting in which everyone, almost everyone, were adjourned to their time, except one person, that is Toastmaster Harsha. So never mind that, he was just above the line. So let's just start off with the speakers. Toastmaster Ratan spoke for 5 minutes 40 seconds. Toastmaster Madhumita spoke for 7 minutes 4 seconds. Then the speech evaluators, Toastmasters Vaishnavi, her introduction was about 38 seconds, and her evaluation was about 2 minutes 54 seconds. And Toastmaster Harsha's introduction was about 39 seconds, and his evaluation was about 3 minutes 33 seconds. So which was just above. So coming to the table topics, Toastmaster Harsha spoke for 1 minute 57 seconds. Toastmaster Vaishnavi spoke for 1 minute 20 seconds. And Toastmaster Ratan and Govind, their combined table topics was about 1 minute 35 seconds. And Toastmaster Gopika spoke for about 2 minutes 8 seconds. And Toastmaster Harshita spoke for 2 minutes 7 seconds. And the grammarian, for his evaluation was about 3 minutes 7 seconds. And our counter Shreyasvi spoke for her evaluation was about 2 minutes 27 seconds. So that's it from my side. And I would just recommend to be a bit more careful with the red card, and just try to sum up as soon as possible, and not try to take risks when the red card is shown. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nikhil. Toastmaster Nikhil, you really done a great job by using Excel, and it really went fine. And coming to the point, when you have given your intro, it would have been still more better when you are speaking about the timer. You would have displayed the timer cards too parallelly, so that it would clearly give the clarity to the audience what card looks like, and they don't have any confusion during the point of their speeches. So here, and it's even good that you have given a suggestion at the end to just like an alarm state to check over the red card. That's also fine. That's also great. Sorry. So yeah, here ends tag team evaluation. And now, being the general evaluator for the day, let me give the entire evaluation for the meeting. Our meeting began at 5:03 p.m. Of course, there was a minute of 3 minutes, but still it's fine that we are not overshooting the time right now. I think everyone got adopted better to the online situation, because I didn't see any network glitches in the meeting. It was so cool and calm. Kudos for that. And next thing I would like to mention is number of cameras that are being on. We know that sometimes we may not be in a situation to on the camera, but if there is any teeny tiny possibility that you could on, please switch on your cameras and make it as interactive as possible. Speaking about the very big four of the meeting, Toastmaster Ram, being the TMOD of the day, you have really done a very great job. And coming to the theme, it was completely out of the box and it was so great. I have actually liked the way you have opened it by synchronizing the theme with the Rasi's medley introduction. Many of them will happen to miss being the TMODs, but you have nicely synchronized the theme with it. And I would like to give you a suggestion that whenever as you have taken this theme, whenever you're going to the different segments, like if you're going to the speech, before going to speech, make sure that there is ample amount of content related to the theme, so that even audience will have that, yeah, the theme is been existing in the meeting. Yeah, it went so lively, but that will still give a better impact over the meeting. Apart from that, great job. And coming to you, Toastmaster Niharika, being the table topic master. Toastmaster Niharika, these set of questions were so interactive and it was related to the theme. Great job on that. And as a matter of correction, I would like to give a little feedback after this speaker has spoken about the table topic, so that the speaker will feel like the speaker will not feel abandoned. So that thing, something which you could work upon. Coming to Toastmaster Ganesh, being the SAA, you did a very great job. You have opened it in a very clean way. And the one thing which you could do is you could synchronize the theme with your 3 golden rules. So this is on me, my team and me. Thank you so much. And over to Toastmaster of the Day, Ram. And one more thing, guys, I'll be posting the voting link in the chat box. Please go ahead and vote.
So thank you, Toastmaster Vanituna. So I would just like to conclude the meeting by saying that privacy is something which hardly exists in today's online world. So let's try to take as many steps as possible to keep ourselves private and our information private. So for example, while using Chrome or browsers, you can use our incognito mode, which we think we use it for something else, but we can use incognito modes and ad blockers for keeping us safe and not losing our data in a mass big data scam. So that's it. That's it. I would like to say, stay home, stay safe on online. So over to you, Presiding Officer Gopika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ram. Now, while the meeting voting link is coming up, it's already there in the chat. Let's all go and vote and decide on who did well in this meeting. Just give me a moment while I vote.
Vinodna, please exclude my name. 3 minutes 30 seconds. I overshot.
Sorry, just give me a minute. I'll be sending the another form.
Okay. Where is the meeting now? So while Vinodna is sending out the forms again, can someone unmute and tell how the meeting went? Since Ganesh has not spoken much in today's meeting, Ganesh, how was today's meeting?
Well, for starters, it went really smooth. And like Vinodna said, there were no glitches and it went really fast, actually. I expected it to go till 6:30, but it ended by 6:15. And that's good. Oh, well, everyone spoke well and that's it. And the attendance is low. We can work on that. That's the only thing. And yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Gopika. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh. That's a lot of observations for one meeting. So while we all go and vote, we'll just wait for like 10 seconds. Okay, that's a lot of silence. Okay. Toastmaster Ram, how was your experience as doing PMOD for the first time?
It was really interesting. I got to interact with many people, and my shyness actually just shied away today after interacting with so many people, and it was really good. And the meeting was really interesting.
What made you choose this theme? I'm curious to know why you chose this theme.
Yeah, this theme is basically because of Mark Zuckerberg. Because Facebook recently revamped its name from Facebook to Meta because of all the privacy issues. So I was very interested in taking on that topic. But the name of the theme, credits go to Harsha, obviously.
You should not give too much credit to your mentor. You should take all the credit.
Sure. From next time I'll try.
Toastmaster Vinutna, will you be sending me the results or?
No, Gupta, just check the result. I'm sending it to your WhatsApp.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys hear anything in the background? I'm curious. No, okay, good. So the best speaker for the day is Toastmaster Madhumita, and she had us fooled for a moment when she gave that speech. The best evaluator, of course, is Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Congratulations, Toastmaster Vaishnavi. The best of tag goes to Toastmaster Shreyasvi, who was the accounter for the day. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shreyasvi. The best TT speakers goes to Ratan and Govind for that very interactive brotherly duo. And the best of Big Four goes to none other than our TMOD for the day, Toastmaster Ram. Congratulations, Ram. It's your first time as a TMOD and you ranked the best of Big Four. With all that being said, and we know that privacy is something that we all need, but we rarely get, I would like to officially close this meeting themed Behind the Curtains, and I declare this meeting closed. Open for, like informal session.
Zoomy.
Okay, that is also there. Let's go for a Zoomy. Who's clicking it? Harsha, you'll click it?
Yeah, I'll click when Ganesh stops recording.
Okay.